This is what Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota announced over the weekend. Watch.
Today, because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband Mark were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost the dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence. Peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint. In the state of Minnesota, and as recently as last week, in the most closely divided state legislature in the country, we sat down, we worked things out, we debated, we shook hands and compromised, and we served the state of Minnesota together.
Okay, so here that is Tim Walz, vice presidential candidate and governor of Minnesota. Now, let me just say this, okay? Because there initially when this happened, they tried to make this guy out to be some big Democrat, right? The right does that all immediately. They try to do it. They try to shape the narrative, as I always tell you. But once they started talking to this guy's, his friends and his roommate, oh my gosh, it turns out to be the exact opposite of what they said. And now they're hush. They're quiet about it. No one is saying anything on the right. The MAGA folks aren't saying anything. The Trump folks are not saying anything because it's a distraction. They don't want you to know that this guy, they believe, was full on MAGA. He went to two homes of two sets of lawmakers there. One wife and husband were shot and survived. Another died. This guy had a manifesto that they found, and it had a list of lawmakers. After they chased and found him in a manhunt, right? They were trying to find him all weekend. This list reportedly contained Democratic lawmakers, included Governor Tim Walz, U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar, U.S. Senator Tina Smith, among others, some 70 of them. 70 people. Again, now imagine if this was a Democrat. Imagine if this was someone on the left. Imagine if this was someone of color. Minnesota assassination suspect Vance Bolter allegedly had dozens of Democrats on a list. This is the danger of the negative and false narrative and information that MAGA and the right put out every single day. And they fall for it and they believe it. And we heard that live this weekend as Jolly was out there talking to people and Jim Acosta. People, it just does not make sense what they're saying. When you ask people, what information do you have about this? They go, well, I have the data and I have this many pixels and megabytes of information. I'm like, but where's that information from? Well, I have it right here, but where is it from? And they don't understand it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, please, and make sure you hit the likes, okay? Because there's lots of people watching, and I want folks to tune into this, okay? Hit that thumbs up button. Now, I'm going to continue to talk about this person and tell you who he is, and you're going to hear from his roommate. But this is what happened overnight. He was found. Let's play the news report.
In just a few hours, Minnesota shooting Vance Bolter is going to be making his first appearance in court after being captured by law enforcement officers last night. He's charged with murder and attempted murder in two shootings. One that killed State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband. The other attack critically injured State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Let's go right now to Green Isle, Minnesota, where the suspect was arrested. We have NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa. Maggie, what's the latest there?
Hey, Joe, good morning. Well, this dramatic late night arrest played out in this really rural, partially wooded area behind me, with authorities saying that Vance Belter, who they say was armed, actually surrendered peacefully. At one point, they say crawling to law enforcement officers before he was taken into custody. All of that giving a huge sigh of relief, as you can imagine, to these communities around here who are still processing unimaginable pain.
The Minnesota man one sheriff's office calls the face of evil this morning in custody, bringing the largest manhunt in state history to an end.
After a two-day manhunt, 2 sleepless nights, law enforcement have apprehended Vance Bolter.
The 57-year-old husband and father now facing state and federal charges for the murders of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband and attempted murders of State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Law enforcement saying the break came early Sunday morning when someone spotted this cowboy hat and black sedan, both connected to Belter, about an hour southwest of the shootings.
An alert police officer believed that he may have seen the individual running into the woods.
Authorities setting up a large-scale perimeter, saying Belter, who was armed, surrendered.
The suspect crawled to law enforcement teams and was placed under arrest at that point in time.
Belter's accused of dressing.
All right, so he's accused of dressing up as a police officer, fake police officer. So these folks thought that they saw a member of law enforcement. You know, when people tell you always comply with officers, don't question them. Well, it's not always true. I think that you should always comply with an officer, but you should also check for ID. But I also think in this moment, I think those people they were unsuspecting. They would not know. And yes, he made it out alive. Can you imagine? I can't believe that the guy made it out alive. I thought that police would just unalive him. Anyways, they tried to make this guy out to be a Democrat. Now, I want you to check this out. This is his roommate. We have 2 different things of his roommate and his friend that he's known since he was a child. When he talks about this man being called a Democrat, he goes, he would be insulted if someone called him a Democrat. Watch.
Sheets of body armor or bullets?
I think it was the one before this one, Andy, the other one.
Talk about his politics a little bit. I know that you had some discussions. I just wanted to clarify.
Well, everyone's calling him a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. He would be offended if people called him a Democrat. Because of this board thing he was on for Governor Walz, it wasn't to serve. He was just serving the community. But I can't believe a political issue would cause him to do such a thing.
Did he ever bring up the senator or the representative who were targeted?
Like I was saying, no, he never talked about those. I didn't know those people. I didn't recognize their names.
Any politicians he mentioned?
Well, gee, he mentioned Nancy Pelosi. He didn't like Jim Walz.
Jim Walz?
Didn't like Jim Biden. But
Tim Walz? What would you say about him?
well, I mean, nothing. It's just normal. Well, I don't like this that Tim Walz did this. I don't like that they did that.
Did he mention the protests that were planned for
He
yesterday?
never mentioned the protest.
What do you make of everything that's happened here and the fact
Maybe
that
I mentioned it to him, but I don't think he mentioned anything about it.
What would you tell him?
I would tell him to surrender himself so he can be taken alive, because he's like my best friend, so I don't want him to be killed. I don't want him to kill anyone else, you know. So I think if I saw him, I could talk him down, but I don't know where he is.
And did he listen to any particular podcasts or TV shows or anything online that concerns you?
You listen to InfoWars, but
Alex Jones.
I kind of said, well, it's like 50% truth. And, I kind of said, don't take everything what they say for granted. I wasn't a real truthful I mean, they're on for some things, but some things are way off.
Did he talk much about Trump? And what did he say, if so?
I was a Trump supporter. Voted for Trump. If you like Trump, I like Trump. And,
Now, let me just say this. Alex Jones InfoWar. Alex Jones had a conspiracy theory about the Newtown shootings. Was sued for billions of dollars. Is still somehow on the air, still somehow doing this thing. I don't know what kind of privilege Alex Jones has. He was sued for a lot of money, but yet and still he's doing his thing. It's just unbelievable to me that these folks don't understand what a disservice they're doing to these people. And this man is a man of a certain age. He's 57 years old and he's still vulnerable in his mind. And these young folks are vulnerable to this MAGA bullshit, this QAnon bullshit, this InfoWars bullshit. And not even that, excuse me. The bullshit that is spewed every single day from the Oval Office, the bullshit that comes out of from the briefing room, the bullshit that is typed by Donald Trump's hands into the social media sites. They don't understand that these people are playing them. This guy was played, and the roommate played by MAGA and Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and social media sites that don't do content moderation, that don't get rid of the conspiracy theorists and the lies. This man was played, and all of the MAGA, all these folks, especially these young men now who are vulnerable, these young college guys and even younger, they are now susceptible and they are believing this shit as well. And then it ends up corrupting their minds. And this is the possibility of what could happen when we don't have a consensus of what is truth, what is real, and what is fact. When something is the truth and it doesn't align with your political values, especially if you're on the right, you say it is a lie, it's a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy, it's a lie, it is left-wing lunacy, it is, you have Trump derangement syndrome, and you don't believe things that are real, because that is what Donald Trump has programmed you to do. And that is what the right is programming you to do. And I hate to say that, it's the Republican Party. The Republican Party is now MAGA. That is what MAGA is doing. And they're doing it just because they want power and they want money, but they don't understand the harm that they are doing to America and the world. This man believes that. This man doesn't understand what America really is, what America was founded on. He doesn't. One more thing from the roommate, and then we'll talk about something else. Here it is. Can't hear him.
He was always kind of into the military stuff, but it was just we were always like that. Me and him, we used to play army men.
How long had you guys known each other?
Since fourth grade, it's been 45 years, 50 years. God, it's been longer than that. Yeah, it must have been longer than that. Since I was 12, probably. Fourth grade. How old were we? Forever we've been friends.
Yeah.
And then...
Did you link him up with this house to live with you? Were you excited about that 2 years ago?
Well, he's been living up here for a while. He was living in Bloomington. He was a manager of a food place.
Yeah.
And then he quit the job and he went down to Africa, got things going down there, said he wanted to start his own companies.
So the security company, was that fully formed, or was that just an idea still?
No, that was just some fantasy. It was you talk about it, but there was no movement on that part.
Okay, so there we go. Again, someone said it is the MAGA cult. It is a cult. That's cult-like behavior when you don't believe in reality, and then it forces you to do something like that because there's no one that can go up against the dear leader. The Democrats are out to get the dear leader. The Democrats don't agree with me, therefore I must harm them. It's really sad. My heart goes out to all of these families and all the people who are involved there.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.